So in today's video, I'm going to show you the easy way to make dark ethnic type of productions. It doesn't matter what DAW or operating system you are using, this video applies to everybody. Okay, so I started off using this Jade Evolutions library by Strezov sampling. Choosing the right sound selection is important, so if you can find an ethnic library, then you're already halfway there. This library comes with a ton of ethnic sounds. It even comes with voices as well. And if you want to know the best dark ethnic libraries to use, I'll link that at the end as well. And if you don't have access to a library like this, you can easily just type in ethnic vocal samples on YouTube, and there's a few cool playlists in here. So I use that vocal from the library. I added a RAM, the warm vocal room, to that. Also, I added an EQ as well to take out some of the low end so it doesn't clash with the bass later on, as well as some of the high end as well to give it that kind of radio type of effect. Plus, I notched it up 2 semitones as well. We are working in 150 BPM. The original vocal was at roughly 180 BPM. That's why it sounds a bit slower now. So I do this with a lot of my productions in a vast amount of genres. Even like EDM, I would get the vocals first and then create something around that, rather than getting the production done first and then trying to find vocals later on. I find that a bit more difficult to achieve. So next I used the Jade Evolutions again. I used this Distant Light preset, and I made this easy, simple D minor chord progression. You would have heard this a million times over. Minor chords are typically sad or emotional sounding, where major chords are typically happier and joyful sounding. And when it says easy in the title, this is why this whole production balances on this simple chord progression here, literally going between these 2 chords, and then the rest of the melodies were kind of molded around this. So to make it sound a little bit darker, we added a bit of process into this. I added this halftime here, pull it slightly to the left for the effects mode in there, EQ'd it, took the low end out. I take the low end out on pretty much everything, just so it leaves a lot of space for the bass later on. Awesome. So next I use another awesome library called the Balkan Ethnic Orchestra. Don't worry about finding ethnic libraries. I'll link you to a video at the end that will show you a bunch of them. For this sound here, I just simply took the 2 chords that we had made. Of course, you can use other notes in your scale, but I always find it better to use the same notes you've already used. It fits perfectly almost all of the time. What we've got at the moment is a bit of a call and response with the chords. So the first chord would hit on the 1, and then this will kind of reply to that chord progression. With that response, I took out some of the lows as usual, added an S1 imager for width, added a RAM Dark Sister preset, and I half-timed that as well. Half-time is going to be your best friend when it comes to dark sound in productions in general. Surprise, surprise, I've used Jade Evolutions again. This library is literally made for productions like this, so you can't really blame me. I found a vocal bed as well to add more ambience in there. And for that bed, I just used the root notes from the chords that we chose earlier on. So next up was the bass, and once again using the root notes from the chords we had chosen, but I added a bit of movement, a bit of groove in there as well, so it wasn't just a long, boring bass note. And also I had the kick in mind for later on as well. For these type of productions, I like to use Reese or Moog type of bass. You can use your typical Spin Zay 808 for these type of productions, of course, but I like to use Reese or Moog. The plugin I chose was the Anna 2. The Anna 2 is such a gem, comes with loads of different genres in here as well. Now, I like the sound of that, but it sounded a bit 80s for me, which was weird with ethnic, 80s ethnic. To beefing it up a little bit, I added a dist tube culture by Arturia. It sounded thicker, but it still gives me 80s vibes, so I EQ'd some of the higher end out to kind of get rid of that sound that I was associating with the 80s sound. If you can't tell, I'm slightly under the weather with hay fever as well. So what I did next was I converted it all to WAV and threw it back into the project. I do this to control the ambiances in the production, the reverbs for delays, just so they're not drifting into sections where I don't want them to drift. Of course, you can do this in MIDI with automations and things like that, but I don't know if I'm just lazy or I just prefer it this way or a combination of both. So just before I added any drums, I decided it needed a pad which was on the higher frequency going throughout as well. Felt like that added that kind of ethnic spice to it if it wasn't already ethnic sounding enough. All of the drums and sound effects used in this production are from my next sample pack. The sample pack is a bit of a drum kit and a bit of a loop pack as well, but if you stick around, subscribe to the channel, I'm sure you'll see when it's released. I always start my drums with a clap or a rim and then I add the kick afterwards. How do you start your drums? I know some producers that start with the hi-hats, but let me know in the comment section below how you start your drums. Hi-hats on the second 8 of your chorus or even verse just makes it sound like there's been a change. It kind of sounds like it speeds it up a little bit. Okay, so the idea behind this is an 8-bar intro into the chorus. The chorus is 16 bars. This is going to be the chunk of it. This is where most of the elements play together. To the verse. So like I said, the key behind these productions are sound selection. You need to find the right libraries. So to help you with that, go to this video here next and it'll show you all the best libraries for dark ethnic productions. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. We're going to do a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. But for now, I've been Dixon. Be safe, be productive, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.